Hello all, welcome to my channel. I am Vivek Gaurav and I'll be teaching you dynamic programming. And before we proceed further, a humble request from my side. Please like and subscribe to my channel and also click on the bell icon so that you get notified every time a new video is coming up. Now, let's get started.
Today we are going to talk about Python strings, and the topics we are going to cover today is that what is a string, how the string indexing and splitting works, what are the string operators, and we'll be looking at the string formatting. So let's start. So Python string is the collection of characters surrounded by the single quote, double quote or triple quote. Now we have already seen this to a certain extent, like we have seen like if you have to make a variable, right? So what we do is that we store something like, I can do something like this also, I can do something like this also with double quote, right, with double quote, and I can use triple quote also, right, I can use triple quote also. We have already seen this in the previous video, but this video is completely dedicated to the data type string. Okay, so the computer does not understand the character internally. It stores manipulated character as the combination of zeros and one. So as we always talk about, like, computer understands only 0 and 1, then we have already seen that we write the program in, using english characters, english alphabet. So how these things happen? So now the point is that each character is encoded in the ASCII or Unicode character. Now what is ASCII? ASCII is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay, American Standard Code, American Standard Code, Standard Code for information interchange, for information interchange. This is the full form of ASCII. Okay, so what happens is that in ASCII value, every character that you see in the keyboard has a value, has a decimal value. Like if I'll talk about capital A, it is 65. If I'll talk about capital B, it is 66, and like that, capital Z, it is 90. Similarly, for small a, it is 97, for small b, it is 98, and for small z, it is 122. And even the numbers like 0 is 48, 1 is 49, and like that, 9 is 57. Okay, so if I talk about extended ASCII, there are 255 values which are there. So we can see that Python strings are also called the collection of Unicode character. Second thing that we have seen is that there is nothing as such as a string. It is stored as a individual character in different compartment. Okay, so in Python, a string can be created by enclosing the character or the sequence of character in the quotes, which can be a single quote, double quote or triple quote, and Python allows us to use single quote, double quote or triple quote to create the string. Let us have an example here. So like str, no, I'll say that we should not use this as a variable name because str is a keyword in Python. Okay, so we should avoid using keyword as a variable name. So if I write str equal to hi Python, and here if we check the type of the variable using the type function, we can see that it is giving us a class str. So in Python, strings are treated as the sequence of character, which means Python does not support the character data type. Instead, a single character written as p is treated as a string of length 1. Okay, it is treated as a string of length 1. Now let me take you to the editor and write a code for you so that you can know it. So let's suppose I am writing str. Now you see str when I am writing, it is already coming there, right? Class str. So it is a keyword. So we should not use that. We should avoid using that. I'll put one after that and it will become a variable. And str equal to, let's suppose I am writing Vivek. Okay, and then if I try to print the type of that, okay, using the type function, type and str1 over there, and then if I run this code, you see what output I'm getting. So you can see that I'm getting class str, right? Class str I'm getting. So this means what? This is the type of this variable that we have created. Okay. Okay. So now going ahead. So creating a string, how do you create a string? So you can create a string by including the characters in a single quote or double quote. You can use any of them. And Python also provide triple quotes to represent the string, but it is generally used for multi-string or document string. Multi-string means if you want to write it in multiple lines and you want exactly the same thing to be printed in the output string also. So let's suppose here we are writing str1 equal to hello Python. If I print str1, I'll get hello Python. Second, using double quote. Using double quote, if I am writing as hello Python, if I print str2, I'll get hello Python. str3. Now triple quotes are generally used for represent the multi-line or doc string, and if I print str3, I'll get exactly the same thing. So now let me take you to the editor and write the code for you so that you can see. So here I will change it to single quote. Okay, here I'll change it to single quote, and I'll change the value also, though it is not required, but just for that single quote. Okay, single quote. This is one. Then what I'll do is that I'll write str2 is equal to, and I'll use double quote here. So now you see the first str1 is I've declared it using a single quote. Second one I have initialized it using double quote, and I'll print this also, print type str2, okay, str2, and we will print str1 also, okay, print str1 also, okay, str1. Second thing is that type function is not needed now because we have already seen how it works. I'll remove that so that you can see the output in a better way. And from here what I will do is that I'll remove this type function here, I'll delete this. Okay, now the third str I'll be creating using the triple quote. So here I will write something like this is using, and then I'll press enter, using the triple quotes, okay, quotes in the Python. Okay, now what I will do is that I'll print this also, print str3. Okay, now you see what happens when I run this code. You see, now you notice here how it is coming. So the first one is coming as single quote exactly as it is, double quote exactly as it is. Now str3 we created using triple quotes, right? And here I wrote this is using triple quotes in the Python, and we pressed enter, and here also you see it is coming exactly in the same way. This is using was in line number 1, then triple quotes in second line, triple quotes in second line. In the Python it's coming in the third line, right? So you can use single quote, you can use double quote, or you can use triple quote also. Now when you give triple quote, you should not give double quotes 3 times, that is not the right way. Single quote you give 3 times and that becomes triple quote. Okay, so that is something that you should remember. Otherwise if you will press double quote 3 times, you will get error. So going ahead, we already saw the output. So string indexing and splitting. So we already talked about, like, the strings are indexed and the indexing always starts from 0. So let us have a look again. So like other language, the indexing of the Python starts from 0. For example, the string hello is indexed as shown in the given figure, and here is the figure. So you can see that the indexing, this is the index. This is the index. As you can see, it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For you it might be 5. Like for you it might be 5, but for Python it is from 0 to 4. For you it is, h1 is h is the first character, but yes, h is the first character which is stored in the index 0. Okay, it is stored in the index 0. And if you want to access individual characters, then what you should do is that you should use the square bracket. Okay, this is called square bracket or big bracket in mathematics, right? Square bracket. So using this, after this you write the index number. If I write str0, so 0 represent h, 1 it represents e, like that. You can go ahead and use that. So let me go ahead and use this for you so that you can see that. Okay, what I'll do is that I'll delete the other thing, and here I will write print, okay, print str1, and here I'll give the square bracket and I'll write 0. So what I should get as the output, I should get s as the output. Can you see I'm getting s? Similarly, let's suppose I want to access e. So at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I write 5, I should get e. Okay, I should get e. See, I'm getting e. So like that it is working. Going back to the presentation and following ahead. So this is how you can access the individual characters. str0 is going to give you h, 1 is going to give you e, 2 is going to give you l, 3 is going to give you another l, 4 is going to give you o. If you try to access anything which is beyond that, then it is going to give you an error. Let us try do that. Okay, so we already have a string over there, right? And it is having how many? So if I'll use single quote here like this, single, and then quote, so it is having 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, let us try to access 11. So it should give us e again. Okay, it should give us e again. Okay, now anything outside this, if I try to access 12, now you see what happened. Can you see string index out of range? I am getting an index error, right? You can see the index error, string index out of range. Why? Because there was only 11 characters here. I am trying to access 12, which does not exist. So it is giving you index out of range. The index that you have given, it is out of the range, and that is the reason you are getting that exception. Okay. So index splitting and string indexing and splitting, I hope you understood that part. So now going ahead, so as shown in Python, the slice operator, which is the bracket, the square bracket, is used to access the individual character of the string. We can access the individual character with the help of that. Now the second thing is that we can use colon operator also. Okay, we can use the colon operator also. Okay, in Python to access the substring from the given string. Have a look at this example. So we have hello over here. We know this is the index part. This is the index part. The indexing start with 0, 1, 2, 3 and then 4. You know, the placement of the number is wrong. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So when you write str0, it gives you h. Now the same thing can be written with the help of, you know what, you can write it with the help of a colon also. Okay, like str1 gives you e, 2 gives you l, 3 gives you l, 4 gives you o. But here you see this side, what we have done is that we have just written str, and inside the round square bracket we have just given colon, right? So this, what it does is that it gives you the whole string. And if you put anything in the beginning, so like you know, it works like this. When you write, you know, str and then you give colon, so there are two things that you are supposed to give. One is the first part before the colon, and the second is the second part, which is after the colon. So before the colon actually means where you want to start from. Before colon actually means where you want to start from, okay? So when I write str0 colon, it means it start from 0 and print everything, so it gives me hello. When I write colon 5, it means ending at, okay, starting from the beginning and ending at. So when I write here colon 5, it means starting from the 0, because 0 is the first position before colon. We have not specified anything, and since we have not specified anything, it means from the beginning index. So from the 0 index till the 5th, okay? So till the 5th, what it gave you? It gave you complete hello. When I write colon 3, so what it is giving me is that it is giving me HEL. Why? Starting from 0 till the 3rd. Starting from 0 till the 3rd. Starting from 0 H, E, L. Now third is L. So third is not inclusive. Okay, here you need to understand that this is the ending part, that is after the colon, the index that you write, that is not inclusive. That is not inclusive. Or you can say that that is exclusive. Okay, that is not included in that. Okay, if I write 0, 2, so it will going to give you 0 and 1, which is HEN. And if I write 1 colon 4, so it is going to give you starting from 1 and till the fourth character not included, so it is going to give you ELL, and you can see the output as ELL. Okay, let me show you here. And here what we have is that we already have single quote. Okay, so now if I put here only colon, okay, if I put only colon, see what I'll get single quote. Okay, let's suppose that I am writing, I don't want to start from the beginning, I want to start from the second character onwards. So I'll write 2 colon, and you see what it will give me. It will give me 0, 1, 2. It will give me NGLEN quote. Can you see? Okay, I did not give here str1 and the square bracket is missing. Okay, so if I give, like, if I run this, can you see NGLE and then quote is coming? Now let's suppose that I want to just have NGLE. I just want to have NGLE. So it should start with 2 and it should end with 6. Okay, 6 or 7, I believe. A print and then str1 and then here 2 colon 6. Okay, now let us see what do we get. We are getting NGLE, right? So this is how it works. Okay, so the starting point is this is the first index that you have given. This is the starting point where you want to start from, starting point, and this is inclusive. Starting point, it is inclusive. Okay, it is going to include that one. But the next one, which is the ending point, this is exclusive. Okay, this is exclusive. That is not included. Okay, so this is how the colon operator works over there. Now going back again and proceeding further. So now here we must notice that the upper range value in the slice operator is always exclusive. As I said, the upper range, which is the after the colon part, right, that is always exclusive. So if str equal to hello is given, then if you write 1 colon 3, okay, so it will always include 1, which is E, 2 it will include L, and nothing else. Why? Because at 3 it will stop. So when you write HELLO, so this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. So you started from where? 1. So 1 you got E, then 2 you got L, and at 3 it is stopped. 3 it did not include. At 3 it is stopped actually. Okay, so 3 is not included. So that is the reason you will get EL. Then look at this example. So here we have given str is equal to Vivek Gaurav, and when we start with 0 colon, so what will be the output? Let us write the output here and match it. So we'll get Vivek Gaurav as the output. Okay, when I'm writing 1 colon 5, so Vivek Gaurav actually is going to be like this, Vivek Gaurav. There is no space, remember that. So it is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this is how the total indexing is there. So if I start with 1, 5, so 1, I'll get I, V, E, K, and 5 it will stop, so I'll get IVEK. Start at second index, like here it start first index to the fourth index. If I write 2 colon 4, if I write 2 colon 4, so it will give me VE. So here it is going to give me VE. And then if I start with second is colon 3, so we haven't specified anything in the beginning, so it means from in the beginning before the colon part, so it means from the beginning till the third not inclusive, so it is going to give me VIV. Okay, it is going to give me VIV. And when I write 4 to 6, okay, 4 colon 7, here if I write, so here what is going to give me is that it is going to give me KGA. Okay, this is what the output I'll get. And here you see Vivek Gaurav IVEK. Let us match it. Vivek Gaurav IVEK, then VE, okay, then VE, then VIV, VIV, and then KGA, and then KGA. Right? So we can do the negative slicing also. Now there is another thing, negative slicing. I'm not running this code in the output window in the editor. You try it, because we already understood, I believe you are all like, you might have understood. In case not, you try it and match the output by giving it, index, and see where what you are getting, and then you will have a better idea. So we can do the negative slicing in the string also. It starts from the rightmost character, which is indicated as -1. So one important thing is that there is a negative slicing and the last character. So let's suppose if I have a name Vivek, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This is how we write index, but this last index is -1, -1, -2, like that. The second rightmost index is -2, and so on. Have a look at this image. Can you see? Now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we have in normal, but here you see negative indexing -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So when you write str -1, it represents the last character, so it is going to give you O. When you write -2, it represents the second last character, is going to give you L. -3, it means the third character from the end. -4, the fourth character from the end. -5, the fifth character from the end. Right? And similarly, if you put negative in the colon, using the colon, so you are starting from -3, it means you are starting from here and you are ending here, you are ending at -1. So it is going to give you what? It is going to give you, like, it is going to give you L and L. This won't be included, as it always happened. If you write -4 colon -1, so -4 is this one, right? So it is going to give you E and then L and then L. You are going to give this. O will not be included because -1 will not be included. If I write -5 -3, so -5 is this, -4 is this, -3 it won't give, so you will get HE. Right? If you just write -4 colon everything, it means till the end. So -4 it starts here, so E L L O. Right? And if you write colon -1, now this is an important one. Colon -1, it is actually going to reverse the whole string. Okay, if you write colon -1, it is going to reverse the whole string. So let me take you to the editor and delete everything. Okay, and here let me use hello. Okay, or let me write Python so that you can see that. Okay, so I wrote Python, and here if I write str, okay, print str1, and here if I write -1, you see what I'll get. I'll get what? I'll get n. Can you see I got n? Right? If I write here similarly, let's suppose, let me copy this line and paste it. Okay, if I write -5, if I write -5, now you should what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should get y. I should get y, right? If I write -6, okay, I should get p. Can you see that? Now if I use the slice operator here, or that colon operator, so here if I write, if I want to start from -6 colon -1, okay, -6 colon -1, so it should give me the whole Python itself. Okay, -1 is not included, right? So -1, so it gave me this part. -1 is not included, so Python, it gave me that. Okay, now if I want to reverse the string, what I should do? I should write print str1, and here I will write colon, and then I'll write -1. So this actually is going to reverse the whole string. Can you see? Python. From the reverse you read it, right? So this colon -1 is actually used to reverse the string. Now going ahead from here, so we already saw that, and you can look at this example. So if you are writing -1, what you should get? You should get V. If you write -3, what you should get? -1, -2, -3, you should get R. If you write -2 colon everything, from the -2 position you start and you go till the end. So -2 is what? This is -2, right? This is -2, -1, -2, you should get AV. And if you are starting from -4 and going till -1, so -4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, this is -4, so you are A, you will get. and then if you write minus colon minus 2, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so from 7 this is 7, so here you will get k, and then you will get g, and then you will get a, and then you will get a k g a u r, you will get r till here. Okay, if you want to reverse it, this will actually reverse the whole string, and if you write minus 12, let us see if it has minus 12 or not. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, you will get an error here. Okay, you will get an error here. Let us match the output, so to check whether our understanding is correct or not. So here you see we are having r and then av, so we are having r and then av. The first, this one they have not, they haven't mentioned in the output. Then we have ura, we have ura, and then kgaur, kgaur, and then the reverse string, right? Then the reverse string, and then the error, and here they have the error. Okay, so now we are clear with the negative indexing also, right? Negative indexing can help you in many cases, so you should know that. Now reassigning a string, how does the reassigning a string happen? So updating the content of the string is as easy as assigning it to a new string. Okay, you can update the content of a string. The string object does not support item assignment. It means what? A string can only be replaced with a new string since its content cannot be partially replaced. It means like this: if you have str1 equal to Python, right? If you have something like this, if you want, you can change the whole thing, you know, you can change the whole thing to Java, you can do like that. But if you want, let's suppose I change only a particular thing, so if you try to do like that using the index and try to write, you know, p there, you will get an error. Let me show you how it works. Okay, so here what I will do is that here, okay, I want, like, you know, I want str1 to be having, you know, python. I'm changing the case from the uppercase, I'm changing it to lowercase. Okay, and then if I write print str1, okay, and I'll copy this line and print it before also, control Z, control C, and then control V. Now you see I'm getting 2 times Python, so reassignment works. But let's suppose that I want to do like this: str1 equal to, okay, str11 equal to, and then here I want to write capital P, and now you see I'll get an error. Can you see? str object does not support item assignment. You cannot change a particular item in that string. If you want, you can replace the whole string, it won't mind, but the moment you try to assign a particular or you want to change a particular part of it, it doesn't work. Okay, so strings are immutable in Python, remember that. We have already seen that example which I tried to change it, and we got str object does not support item assignment. However, in the example, the str can be assigned completely new content as specified in this example. As you can see, we had str equal to hello, and then we changed it to smaller hello, and then we printed it, so we got the correct output. Okay, but if you want to change only one item, not possible. Deleting the string. So as we know that strings are immutable, we cannot delete or remove the character from the string. We cannot delete or remove the character from the string, but we can delete the entire string using the del keyword. Okay, you cannot remove a particular character, but you can remove the complete string itself. Have a look at this: str equal to Vivek Gaurav and del str1. Okay, now here if you will see del str1, if I'll try to do one item you are trying to remove, so here you are getting an error: object does not support item deletion. But if you'll write del str itself, it will work. Okay, and then you try to print it, you will get an error. So let me show you here. Let me, you know, delete all these things. Okay, and then del str and then 1, str1 and then 1. Okay, now run and see, str object does not support item deletion. But if you remove this indexing, you remove the whole thing, okay, then you will not get any error. Everything is working fine. We got Python because before deleting we printed it. Now after deleting, if I try to print it, okay, you see you will get an error, and the error will be, see, name str1 is not defined. Why it is not defined? Reason being is that before that itself you deleted it, this line itself you deleted it, right? And then you are trying to access it, so it is not defined, str1 is not defined. Okay, so deletion works for the entire string, not for a particular character or something like that. Okay, now a string operator, so plus, it is known as the concatenation operator used to join a string given either side of the operator. So if you have, let's suppose, hello plus Python, what it is going to do, it is going to give you hello Python, right? This is how it works. Multiplication, it is known as repetition order. It concatenates, multiplies the copies of the same string. Okay. Then we have the indexing. It is known as a slice operator. It is used to access substring of a particular string. We have already seen that. This also we have seen that it is known as range slice operator and is used to access the character from the specified range. You give a starting range and then an ending range, right? And then n. Now it is known as membership operator and it returns if a particular substring is present in the specified string or not. Okay, so let me show you plus and minus. Okay, let me show you plus and minus how it works. So let me delete this. So here I'll write print str1 plus str1. So now what you should get is that you should get 2 times python. Can you see that? If you want to add a space in between, so you add a space in between and then add one more plus, and then you see you will get python with a space, right? Let's suppose that here I write print and then str1 multiplied by 3. So what you should get is that you should get python. Can you see python is there? One python is still here, the other python is still here, the third python is still here. Okay, so this is what it works. The membership operator we haven't seen, but slice operator we have seen, and the colon we have already seen. Range slice operator we already know. The next operator that we have is not in. Now it is also a membership operator and does the exact reverse of in. It returns true if a particular substring is not present in the specified string. Okay, then the next one we have is r/r. Now it is used to specify the raw string. Now what is raw string? Raw strings are used in the cases where we need to print the actual meaning of escape characters, such as like C colon and then / python, right? To define any raw string as a string, the character R or capital R, small r or capital R is followed by the string. Okay, now I'm going to make a special video, like different video for all the functions that we are having here. So that is the reason I'm not going into the detail of that, because in the next coming videos you'll be seeing only about the string functions. Okay, so we'll be talking in detail about there. Then we have percentile, right? So it is used to perform string formatting. Now this, unlike with number, this is called modulo operator, but here with a string it is used for formatting, and it makes use of the format specifier which is used in C programming. So if you know format specifier in C, you have %d, %f, %c, %s, right? So here also it makes use of the format specifier used in C programming language, like %d, %f, to map their values in Python. Okay, so we will discuss how formatting is done in Python in this video itself. Don't worry about that. So now have a look here. So str equal to hello, str1 equal to world. So when you write print str into 3, so it should give you hello. When you try str and str1, it should give you hello world. When you try to access 4, str4, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, you should get O. Then you are writing print 2 colon 4 str, so 0, 1, 2. So you will get LL, you will get only LL, and then you write print W in str. So what it will give you? Do you have W in str? You do not have W in str, so it is going to give you false. And when you write WO not in str, when you write WO not in str1, WO not in str1, it will also give you false, because in str1 you have WO. And then you see print R C colon / python 37. So print, this will print exactly the same thing the way it is written over here. And then for string formatting, the string str is %s, and after the double quote you wrote %, and within the bracket you wrote the variable name. So it is going to give you the string str colon hello. Let me take you to the editor and write the code for you. So let me write str1 equal to hello, okay, and then str2 equal to world. Okay, so if I'll write print str1 plus str2, what it is going to give me is that it is going to give me hello world, right? Let us run it and check. So we are getting hello world. Can you see that? Let me clear everything so that you can see it. Let me run it now. So you are getting hello world without a space, because we haven't added a space. If I write print, if I write here print and I write str1 multiplied by 3, so it should give me hello 3 times. So you see hello 3 times is coming, right? If I write only the slice operator, with 4, so it should give me what? It should give me O. You see, it is giving me O. If I use the range slice operator, so print str1 and then if I put 2 colon 4, so what it should give me is that it should give me LL. Can you see double L? Right now here if I write print and then if I write I write R and then I write single quotes C and then I write Python. Okay, so what it will give me is that it is going to give me exactly the same thing as I have printed here. Can you see C Python, right? And then if I write print the value the value of str1 is percentile s, and here if I write percentile and here if I write str1, you see how it is going to work. Can you see the value of str is hello, right? So what happened is that this percentile s, actually this percentile s that we have given, it created a blank space, and the value of the blank space was filled by this variable which we have given after the percentile. Okay, so let's suppose if I want to add two things, so what I can do is that the value of str1 and str2 is, okay, percentile s and percentile s. If I write like this, so here I should give str1 comma str2. Hopefully it should work. Let me try it out, right? So now can you see is hello and world, it is giving hello and world, right? So after percentile you can give comma separated values if you have multiple things to be filled. So this is how it works in string formatting. Okay, so I hope things are getting clearer to you, and I hope that you are also doing the hands-on with me. So we already understood all these things. Now Python string formatting. So escape sequence. Let's talk about escape sequence first. So let's suppose that we need to write the text as they said, comma, hello, what's going on. So you see here we have double quotes here inside the string, one single quotes here, right? And the double quote is getting here. Now the given statement can be written in a single quote or double quote, but it will raise the syntax error as it contains both single quotes and double quotes, right? Let us try this out. Let us try this out, and so that you can understand how it is working. So str1 equal to they said what's going on. Okay, what's going on, and I am closing the double quote here. You see already it is giving me an error. Can you see that they said what's going on? It is already giving me an error, right? So this way it is going to give you error. So now here what you can do is that it is going to give you invalid syntax. Now one of the use is that you can use triple quote to accomplish this problem, right? So let us go and try this. If I put here in the beginning, if I put triple quote, and at the end if I put triple quote, then is my problem solved? Yes, is my problem is solved. My problem is solved. So if I write here print str1, my problem is solved. So this is one way of solving it. This is one way of solving it, and I can get exactly what I have written. This is one way, using triple quote if you have multiple things in between. The second thing is that using backslash symbol. Now backslash symbol denotes the escape sequence. The backslash can be followed by a special character, and it interpreted differently. It is interpreted in a different way. The single quote inside the string must be skipped. Must be skipped means it must be followed by the slash. So we can apply the same in the double quote. So have a look here. So one way is that using triple quote, that we already tried. Now here you see what I am doing is that I am writing single quote here, using with single quote, and then I am writing what's. So when I write what's, here I gave a single quote. Okay, so let us go over there and change this. First of all, change it to single quote, and let us see if we can escape that part. Okay, so here it is giving me an error. Here I'll put a slash. Okay, here I'll put a slash. Now you see the moment I put a slash there, I'm getting an output. They said what's going on. Okay, now let's suppose that if I'm putting double quotes, so now where it is giving me error? It is giving me error where? Here. So here if I put a slash, okay, will the problem get solved? Will the problem get solved? I guess the problem gets solved. See, we are again getting the output, right? So this is called escape sequence. So wherever I wanted to insert another one, another double quote or single quote, what I did is that I put a slash over there. Okay, so that way your problem can be solved. So escaping double quote, single quote, you put a slash before single quote. If you want to escape the double quote, you put a slash before the double quote, and that will be escaped. Okay, or the unique way is that use triple quote and write whatever you want to write. Everything is going to be okay. Okay, so now backslash new line, it ignores the new line. Okay, so here you wrote backslash new line, it ignores the new line. Okay, it like here, what I mean by that is that, let me show you here. Okay, so here what I will do is that here I'll remove everything, put a backslash, we are going okay to Delhi. Okay, and I'll put a double quote here, and now here I'll write print str1. Now you see when I run the code, they said we are going to Delhi. Can you see that? If I remove this unwanted space, the indentation, if I run this, everything is going to come in a single line. They said we are going to Delhi. Can you see that? Right? And if I'll put a space here properly, then it is going to give a space. They said we are going to get Delhi. It ignored the new line, right? It ignores the new line. This is what I wanted to convey. Then two backslashes, so it ignores the backslash, right? So if you write output like this, you will get one slash as the output. One backslash and single quote, it escapes the single quote. And then you have double quote, so it escapes the double quote, right? And then you have backs, like here there should not be, you know, two times, it should be like double quote, then it escapes the double quote. Then backslash a, it gives the ASCII bell. Backslash b, it gives the backspace, right? It removes one of the space. Okay, so like that you can do formatting, and you can just use escape sequence, and there are many like F, N, R, T, V, O. F is for form feed, right? N is for line feed, and then we have R for ASCII return, then we have T for, you know, horizontal, V for vertical tab, triple O for, you know, with octal value, XHH for hex value, right? XHH for hex value. So like that there are many things, you can try this out. Okay, the more you will experiment, the more you will learn about it. So the table is given here, you can try this out all by yourself. Okay, line feed is important to know. This is something that you might use frequently to change the line if you want to change it. Okay, so this is for line feed that you might use a lot of them. But other than that, this also you can use for, you know, listing if you want to give spacing. But other than that, very less used when it comes to programming. Okay, now the next is that the format method. So what is the format method? So format method is the most flexible and useful method in formatting a string. The curly braces play a very important role in this. The curly braces are used as the placeholder in the string and replaced by the format method argument. Have a look here. So here you give two curly braces. So basically you give placeholder, that this is an empty box that you created, this is an empty box got created. So curly braces and curly braces both are the best friend. And after the double quote, you see you wrote dot format and you wrote Vivek, comma Gaurav. So the first value will come in the first one, the second value is going to come in the second one, right? The second way is that positional argument. Positional is like you wrote 1 and you wrote 0. So 0 is Virat. Virat is going to come over here, Rohit is going to come over here. And the third is that keyword argument A, B and C, and dot format, A equal to James, B equal to Peter, C equal to Ricky. So A will be replaced by James, B will be replaced by Peter, C will be replaced by Ricky. So let us go over there and try this out, because this is important. Okay, so here I wrote print, and here let's suppose I'm writing curly bracket. Okay, let me give inverted comma, I did not give that, and curly bracket are best friends. Okay, our best friends are friends, are best friends. And here I'll write dot format, and here I'll write M Dhoni and Raina, comma Raina. Okay, Raina. Okay, let me run and check. So Dhoni and Raina are best friend. Now one thing, if you give a space here, na, everything is gone. You are gone for a toss. Can you see here key error? So there should not be a space when you are writing this curly bracket. Okay, remember that. Second thing is that positional argument. So okay, let me copy the whole thing here again. Okay, copy the whole thing here again. Here I'll give 1, here I'll give 0, and here I will change value, like, you know, I'll write Virat, and here I will write Rohit. Okay, Virat and Rohit. Okay, now you see if I run this, what happens is that Rohit and Virat are best friends. So Rohit, which is the first, is coming here. Okay, and 0, which is Virat, is coming here. Now you remember that this indexing is starting from here. So Virat is 0, Rohit is 1. That is the reason Rohit came here and Virat came here. Okay, the third is positional argument. So let us do the third one. So here I will write A and I'll write B, and here I will write A equal to MSD, and B equal to S Raina. Okay, I'll write S Raina. Now you see, can you see MSD and S Raina are best friend? So this is a very unique thing which is there, and it is going to actually help you a lot when you want to, you know, format a lot of things while printing. Okay, so this is how it works. Now let's go ahead, and we already saw how the things work. Okay, now Python string formatting using percentile operator. Now percentile operator, how to do that? So Python allows us to use the format specifier used in C's printf statement. We already know in percentile D, if you know C, C++, you know no, not in C++, but percentile D, percentile C, percentile F, these are format specifier in C. So the format specifier in Python are treated in the same way as they are treated in C. However, Python provides an additional operator, modulus, or you know, percentile, not modulus, percentile, which is used as the interface between the format specifier and their values. In other words, we can say that it binds the format specifier to the values that they belong to. Let us have a look. integer is 10, float is 1.290, string is Vivek. Now here what I am doing is that print hi I am integer, my value is percentile d backslash n will change the line. Hi I am float, my value is percentile f. Hi I am string, my value is percentile s. And then what you did is that you wrote percentile and comma separated the three values you passed in the same sequence as they has to be replaced. So this is for integer, integer for integer, float is for float, and then string for string, and then you get the output. So let us go over there and write this one. Okay, write this one. So let me delete this part and create three variables like a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2.1, and c equal to Vivek. Okay, and then here what I will do is that here I will write print hi I am integer and my value is percentile d. Okay, percentile d, and then I'll write backslash n. Okay, and here I will write, I'll change the line and I'll write here hi I am float and my value, it is giving me colorful, so it is something wrong, percentile f. So let me go back and go to the same line there itself. My value is percentile f, and then here what I will do is that here I will again percentile f and I'll change the line backslash n, and here only I will write hi I am string and my value is percentile s. Okay, and here I'll write dot format, no, not dot format, percentile, and here I will write a comma b comma c. Okay, now here if I run the code, you see hi I am integer, my value is 1, hi I am float, my value is 2.100, hi I am string, my value is Vivek. Right, you can see one space is coming here, and it is because of me only, it is coming because of me, because I have given a space here. If I remove this space, now you see everything is coming perfectly. Now what happens if you change the sequence? What if you change the sequence? You write c here and you write a here and then you write b here. What will happen with that? Let us check that. So can you see the error is coming, right? Format d format a number is required, not str. It is giving you an error, right? So it should be in the sequence, right? So is this like, can we replace float and integer? Let us check with that. C I'll keep as that only because that is a string anyway. Let us check. So yes, we can replace the float and the integer, right? So for the first place, what I did is that I wrote b, my a was integer. You see my a was integer, but in percentile d, which is my first, I gave a value b. So it is turning into an integer. 2.0, which was there, 2.1, it turned into an integer. You see it became 2, and 1 which I gave as integer is coming as 1.000. It turned into a float. Okay, so better we should give it in correct order so that we can get the exact output. Okay, so this is how that percentile operator works with a string. So the only thing is that percentile s, percentile f, percentile d, you keep that vacant place, and after that, after your inverted comma gets closed, put percentile symbol, and then inside the small bracket you give all the values. So this is how it works. Okay, so that's all in this video. I know it is a pretty longer one, but the whole thing is that you understood a lot of things. The whole string is done. We are yet to do the string function. That will be doing it from here onwards. Okay, so thank you so much.